Oh yeah, start with that intro flute.
Blessings, family. Now's a good time to drink some water.
Here we are. Looks like you got some Ormus in there.
I do. This is got
It's
some
well,
orchids and
it's
Celtic sea
flowing.
salt,
Mm,
and I like to take breaks from it and integrate the shift that I feel from the Ormus.
mm,
And I think it's important to like integrate that shift in frequency. Um, but I've been definitely macrodosing it recently, and my imagination is feeling less limited and
mm.
more limitless, and like I'm able to put myself in other places and times in which I see myself, or even like where I see others. Sometimes it feels like I'm able to really like see where my brothers or sisters are at, or like when I put my awareness somewhere, I'm really there.
Mm.
You know,
Interesting.
yeah, that's like one thing for sure that I've noticed with Ormus.
Mm.
But hey, everybody, my name's Water,
Some
and
some
should I
true
introduce myself?
telepathy.
I guess.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, I'll just share that we're on the 11th podcast of the Moona's Magica show, Leela, play. And we're simply here as the self speaking to the self. There's only one being here in that full recognition of the mighty I am presence, which is the eternal harmonizing balance of creation itself. Here we are. There might be, yeah, I think we're good, honestly, brother. If a car drives by here and there, it's all good. But yeah, here introducing a dear brother of mine. Uh, we met about a year ago, and Water called me and was absolutely ignited by the divine flame. And he'll tell a story of how he got introduced to becoming a creator of this technology, which we call tensor energy ring, and further out, we create other devices that we will get into, but I feel that this conversation will be very, very juicy, and I'm really in love with this brother Water as I see the divine spark ignited in him. So introducing Water Wizardry 369. And yeah, if you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get started.
Hello, family. Thank you, Munas. Thank you, brother, for having me. My name is Water, and I reside and was raised in the Pacific Northwest of Turtle Island on the Salish Seas, in a place most people know as Vancouver, Canada. Um, but I like to remind people that Canada's not even real, man. Like, so I'm an activist. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a poet, and I I am a seeker of truth. And I've just started for a while, just really tapping into my experience, and knowing that my definition of magic really is believing and then seeing. And so many people in this world want to see it to believe it,
Mm,
but really, you got to believe it to see it.
mm,
And really, in that, it's like we are the creators, and you know, people are gonna see what they want to see really in this world. Um, so yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know, where did this all start? Because really it connects with everything, this technology for me, and but oh man, I guess it started when really I was 16 years old. I was in a head-on car accident where my best friend driving uh, and the driver of the car that we hit both died on the scene, and I was extremely depressed for 3 months. And 3 months later, what happened was is I did LSD for my very first time, and that night I was able to see my friend and speak with my friend on a visible and verbal, visible and sound spectrum, you could say, where he came to me and spoke to me, and and helped me release that. And I woke up the next day and I thought of him and I smiled for the first time in 3 months. And LSD just like completely changed my life like that. And I went on this journey of healing through psychedelics and helping other people heal through psychedelics, and working a lot with dimethyltryptamine and 5-MeO, and breaking through and facilitating hundreds of breakthroughs for people with that medicine. And since then, for a while, I've taken a step back actually a lot from psychedelic medicine, and I've started working with plant medicine, more herbal medicine, mushroom medicine, um, working with now metal medicine, and realizing the magic of copper, and realizing the magic of all these precious metals that we're using, and the unity that we share with them. We are literally one with copper, and so I've always, had been quite sensitive to crystals. I've always been like really into. Um, I've always been really into, yeah. I've always had a sensitivity to frequency and energy. I'm very empathic, and I guess it's been like 2 years ago now. I saw my brother Light down in Costa Rica, who I know from up here, who moved down there, working with this technology, and it was really, it sparked something in me, and I could see him, and I could hear him, and I could feel the truth in what he was doing. And I started doing my own research, going down the rabbit hole. But there's really only so much that words on a screen or pictures or videos can really do. It was like, but the moment that I actually held a harmonizer in my hand for the very first time, I was like, this is it. Like I could feel it. I could feel it in my entire like alignment and expansion. And I was just like, wow, like this is like, I felt it within my heart of hearts. I knew that it was true. And right after I got this tech in Costa Rica, boom, I started getting super sensitive again to crystals. I got right back into working with crystal energies and different minerals again, and becoming just way more sensitive in general. I found exposing myself to these subtle frequencies and tapping in and realizing the subtleties of our reality. And yeah, I guess I don't know where to go from here. Feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've it's just been such a journey of self discovery with these tools, and the more that I look into it, and the more that I learn this, the more that I see how it relates to every other aspect of life, and how you can literally find the whole within each part, and how each part contains the whole. And like Nassim Haramein, one of like the leading quantum physicists right now on our planet, um, there he's talking about how they can prove, and they have the equations for weighing the mass of the entire universe in a single atom, and talking about how the amount of time that it takes for information to travel across the universe is the same amount of time it takes an electron to do one full spin around an atom. And just that as an example of like for people who want to look at it from a science or mathematical perspective, like, there's a formula out there. There's a rhyme to the reason, and nothing is as random or chaotic as it seems. There's a very intelligent divine orchestration that is taking place, and I think it's all a matter of how you choose to perceive it. It's all right here. And like, we're talking about worth and value as business owners and as people who are trying to make it in a capitalistic society where it's not cheap to live, right? And so this idea of worth and value is like, where does this come from and who decided this? And really, like, we're all just making it up as we go. But if I was at the restaurant and I believed that the bottle of sriracha on the table was the blood of Christ, and I drank it and I was reborn, that bottle of sriracha would surpass the value of any Ferrari or house or any material possession, you know? And it would be the value that I give that would really make it what it is. And life is literally what we make it. And that's like, coming back to just, we are the creators. And maybe the only reason we can't jump up and fly like Neo is because 51% of the population of the collective, of the consensus, says that we can't. you know Really, it's like we are the limitless of the possibilities, I feel, of this reality, and new earth, and where we're going is really about as inseparable, dreams are as inseparable from reality.
Hmm.
And I see it happening all the time, and really, it's like we're advancing so quickly. It's like we're straight living in sci-fi. The things that we're capable of doing right now, and the technologies that we have, and the resources we have, like, most people can't even conceive. Like, so yeah, yeah. Ask me anything, bro. Like,
Yeah,
this is super spontaneous. I did not prepare much for this, and so I'm kind of just, I'm open for some dialogue too. Like,
absolutely.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
feel free to interject.
aho, aho, aho to all. And yeah, I mean, there's hours of conversation just in that intro. But as a podcast host, and the one behind the scenes of a more quote unquote structure, I will continue to ask questions. And yeah, the question that's coming up as a way to move forward is, what is your description in this now moment of a tensor ring? If somebody came to you, had no clue, came to you in public at a market and said, "Whoa, what's this, mom?" And you were describing to this young daughter or young son, how would you describe it? And also, if you can uh, share how it would positively affect the life of one that would choose to get that off of us.
So, how I would describe this tool right here, this device, this technology, this is simply a magnetic antenna that is receiving, amplifying, and emitting the good energy of the earth, the life sustaining, positive chi of the earth. Um, and I would say that it's tuned through length, because length equals frequency. And I would say that it is a window of infinite possibility.
Hmm.
It's a window into the source fields, into the Akashic, into the 0 point, into the place of infinite potential. And that really, I would tell the children that it's not what it is, it's what it does. And it does whatever your intent wishes it to do, really. And so it's really, a physical manifestation. It's like this tool that we can use to create a reality. And it's magic, it's divine. We have the positive and the negative, the yin and the yang, coming together, of equal and opposite, colliding, and they create a third energy. What is that? The yin and yang colliding. It's the masculine and the feminine. What happens when the masculine and the feminine of equal and opposite opposing forces come together and collide? There's the spark, there's creation, there's a third, there's birth, there's, and so that's really what I see in this, is that it's the positive and the negative, the yin and yang coming together, canceling each other out, and creating this third energy. 1 + 1 is 3. It's creating this life energy that is non-dual, that is before the form, and it's divine. It's absolutely divine, and it's so simple. And yeah, I think things are really as simple or as difficult as we make it. Um, just coming back into like the laws of cause and effect, and you're either the cause of your reality or the effect of someone else's, you could say. And the cause and effect. There's something that came through yesterday when I was in the forest. Um, so the cause and effect. Oh, be with me, people. Be with me.
Whatever you shared with me last night on the phone, we could get into that. If it's a fresh download as well, I understand that those have to integrate. Um,
Oh yeah,
but
for
to
sure.
just to finish that question, if and then you can just add on as you go. How would you how would you suggest somebody to start utilizing it to start getting the benefits of the energy field?
Have it in your pocket. Simple as that. You don't want to wear it as a pendant. People don't like pendants, clunky things. Have it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Simple. Simplest thing ever. You put it in your jean pocket, or like the tiny pocket in your jacket. Forget about it. Just leave it there. And it's basically like your armor. You inspired me when I saw you get on. I got my 2 tense rings too here. It's like we're
Yeah.
strapping up to go to war. It's like we got our ammunition around us right now, our
Great.
shields, the Vesica Pisces, um, and yeah, it's very much like there is a war going on, and it's very much a silent war,
Mm.
and no one is uh, safe from it. No one's outside of it, and which is crazy, because even the people spraying the air and polluting our waters are still being affected by the same air and water. It's like, it's kind of absolute insanity to me. But
Self-destructive behavior.
this is yeah, what I was coming to about cause and effect was just that, you know every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. And when the universe creates a problem, the solution is created in the exact same instant moment. Like, there is not a single problem in the universe that does not have a solution, because a problem could not exist without a solution. And these are simply, like I would say, modern day solutions for a modern day problem that, unless you're living off the grid in the middle of nowhere, not listening to this video, watching it right now because you don't have cell reception, and you're drinking spring water and you're living off the land, you probably don't need this technology, right? You're drinking your waters from the earth. You're living in harmony. You're in resonance. You're good. You're not being bombarded and inundated with 5G radiation and non-life affirming energy constantly from the grid. And so this is about working with the ether and taking back control of this invincible substance that is for everyone, for everything, that is free, that is limitless, that is of infinite potential. That's what this is about. This is about God. This is about you and me and all of us as the creator, as the one, and how are we choosing to qualify our reality? They see speak to your water. There's tons of science proving all of the ways and that different frequencies and words and emotions have on water, and we speak to our water, and we are water, and we are very sensitive to our environment, just like a cup of water is. We take on our environment. We are the company that we keep, and we are products of our environment. These are very true things. But we can also make our environment a product of us by choosing by making the choice, by making the conscious decision, by knowing where to direct consciously this great I am intelligence that is I am, that I am, that we are. Um, yeah, it connects to everything for me, man. I've like just I'm the same boat as you. I quit my job this last year. I've been just over a year since I've started creating this technology, and I've gone all in, and there's no going back now. It feels like I'm at the point of no return, and it feels like I took the leap of faith, and um, it doesn't feel like I'm like soaring like an eagle yet, but I haven't landed flat on my face yet. So spirit's with me, and I really see the reciprocity with the copper and with life of like, the more I put into this, the more I'm going to get from it. It's that simple. This is new earth currency. This is like, this is like Bitcoin that you can touch, and that's going to actually do things for you. And I recommend that every single person I know, and and everyone listening and everyone they know, invest in this technology. Get it in your life. Get it around your smart meter, your Wi-Fi router. Get it on your phone. Get it in your person when you're walking through the city. Get it in your car while you're traveling around. Have a harmonizer, doing mobile grid work, constantly invigorating and moving and shaking the ethers, because that's really what 5G is. And all of this, microwave frequency is, they're manipulating the ether. And I strongly, strongly believe that they are very, very intentionally placing these tools, these devices, these weapons very strategically. That it's not just, they don't just randomly place them in certain places. They're placing them on these places that are grid lines, that are meridians, so that they can have an even greater effect and disturbance and greater manipulation. Um, and yeah, this is activism for me. This is like my way of being of service, and something that is of service to all of our relations and to the next 7 generations, really. This is about stewarding our DNA and what we're leaving behind, and like getting into that topic, another topic I guess we could go into. I mean, I'm just kind of rambling right now, but just channeling, I guess. But is about epigenetics.
Mm.
And it's about the science and the studies that are proving that our thoughts and our emotions and our behaviors and our diet, and basically every single thing that we do and consume, affects our DNA. And I know friends who like can weave amazingly. Like, they just started weaving. Well, I'm sure how many of their ancestors have done weaving, and how much of that memory is actually encoded inside of their DNA.
Mm. Yep.
So
Wow. Man, so good. I mean, we could do a whole series right now. Like, yeah, I don't even know where to go. If you want to keep flowing, I'm just loving all the topics coming up. And
so
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it's getting back into this epigenetics. Is like celiacs, gluten intolerant people didn't exist 100 years ago. And in literally like one generation, we have altered our DNA. So now there's people being born with all these different diseases and different imbalances that did not exist. They're putting like all these petrochemicals and different dyes and colors and everything, and wondering why there's all this different mental illness. And things like that. So the good news is that we can bring our DNA back to its heirloom strain in one generation, and we can leave behind a legacy for the next 20 generations. And not a lot of people want to hear that. Oh, guess what? You're responsible for every thought and every action and every word that you speak, and how it's literally affecting your children's 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 children. And so it's really about radical responsibility, and yeah, taking responsibility as the creator of your reality, you know, and how you choose to qualify your reality. And you know, the question that really anchors me, and that like really I've pondered very deeply, is what if only perfection exists? You know, and like that came up recently. I was asking that question to somebody in relation to Palestine, you know, and what's happening right now in the world.
Mm.
And it's like, I just pray to God that none of those deaths are in vain, and that this is, you know, all part of the grand awakening, you know, and that those angels, that I believe that we all came here with a mission, and that we choose when we enter and we choose when we leave, and that we have contracts here, and we have, you know, a place. Nothing is random and nothing is lost. Nothing is forgotten. Nothing's out of place. So yeah, tensor rings, tensor technology. I don't know. I kind of went off from that, but it's informing your DNA in a healthy way. It's shielding your DNA. It's protecting your DNA. So bringing it back to this epigenetics, we are constantly informing and strengthening and shielding our DNA, protecting ourselves from these frequencies that are everywhere, that you can't, you got to drive pretty far in some places to get away from it. So these are just the modern day simple solutions that are super easy, non-invasive. You can take them on planes. You can, you know, take them anywhere, and it's a beautiful tool. It's a beautiful reminder of all these things that I'm sharing. You know, it's really just maybe it's just that, right? Well, maybe, you know, but you can go do your own research and see all the science that is there, and you know, there's people are all into moldavite and amethyst and all these things that have been used basically for thousands of years, and the only reason maybe that they have that sort of credibility is because it's something that is raw and of the earth and hasn't been man-made per se, or whatever. I don't know, whatever reason you want to give it, but there is no science for what a moldavite or amethyst or any crystal does, folks. That's all metaphysics. Like, there's nowhere that's going to say that any of this is proven, but through consensus and the collective, you know, experience, we can like all hold a moldavite in our hands, and you know, 9 out of 10 people are going to have a very similar experience. And so we can say, oh, okay, this is, how do you think we found out what every plant and herb does? You know, we tried it, and we ate it, and some died and some lived, and most of us lived, actually. So I think we're doing pretty good. I think only like a few of us had to make those mistakes so that the rest of us, you know, don't have to. And pray that we like don't forget, you know, like that's like, don't, we can't forget. And like we're remembering right now, and in the name of remembering, my sister Beam said to me something that really hit so deep. And she says, we're not, everybody's like trying to heal, like
Mm.
everybody's like, oh yeah, I need to heal, I need to heal. And it's like, she's like, we're not here to heal, folks. We're here to remember. We're already whole. We're already perfect. We just have to remember, you know, we just have to remember.
Mm.
Remember the one. Yeah. I actually I wrote a poem. I was up till 3 in the morning last night, downtown Vancouver, busking, sharing hip hop, and singing songs with my friends on the street, and just sharing vibes. And I was feeling really inspired, and I wrote this poem. So I'd love to share it with y'all. And yeah, here we go. I am calling forth the immediate emancipation of all nations and occupations that do not serve the salvation of creation. So make your life so amazing that the vibe is so contagious that through cross-nation and precipitation of the sacred, we turn pages with patience. Consider this an invitation to a new day on a new earth, where we have found a new worth, rich like the dirt, reversing the curse, quenching every thirst, where love and truth are first, no more death, only rebirth. Immortal amor, a love that never dies, it only transforms. From the form to the formless, it seemed with no stress. Only the best of the blessed, this is God in the flesh. So tell me, what could be better than breath that condenses a sense of infinite depth? May every thought, every word, every step be a prayer to the ones who came before, and the ones who come next. Your DNA has been to the highest peak and through the deepest trench. So please give respect to the north and the south and the east and the west. Every element in this I am intelligence, perfect, omnipresent, and benevolent. Its essence is present in all that is excellent, effervescent, and elegant. Just open your eyes. It's not hard to find the evidence. I know times are tense, yet I can't help but sense it's time we say yes. Yes to love, and yes to the light. Yes to peace, and yes to life. Yes to God and all that is right. I love you. So that's what wanted to come through for the people.
Mm.
And yeah, the good news is we've already won the war on consciousness, and we've already won. So like we just got to keep going, and yeah, we've already won. That's like the good news. And New Earth is now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Breathe it in. Enjoy, enjoy.
Enjoy. These divine creations right here, maybe we'll share a little bit about our brother Slim Sperling and give thanks for his openness to the Great Spirit and for going this whole life and then coming to nearing more the end of his life, channeling the harmonizer and proving that these can clean air pollution.
Yeah.
If you want to share about your experience and also
Oh yeah.
in relation to Slim and also maybe what you shared last night about the paramagnetism
Yeah.
and how the clarity and the HDness that you were speaking.
Yes.
So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Very, very good. So Slim Sperling was an absolute goat, and
Go.
a goat. Yeah, he's a goat.
The
Like for those
go.
who know, he's one of the greatest of all time, and he deserves his own like holiday. Honestly, I think one day we should just start our own Slim Sperling Day, maybe on his birthday or something. We should find out when he was born and like make that like national Slim Sperling Day, international
Go.
like Sperling
Let's
Day.
do it. Let's do it.
We'll find, yeah, well, yeah, put that in. That's a note for sure because it's happening, folks. You're all invited to start Slim Sperling Day with us and go plant tensor rings in the earth and share the good news. But yeah, Slim Sperling was a master dowser for over 30 years, and so For those of you that don't know what dowsing is a form of divination or applied kinesiology. So I do muscle testing all the time to get yes or no answers from my body. And I use my body as an antenna through my DNA, the divine natural antenna, to tune in and to receive information from my higher self or the cosmos for what is of my highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all. So I can tune my instrument, my body, by asking it a question that is a fallacy or a truth. So I go and I ask it, do I love my mother? My thumbs are not coming apart right now. I have the strength of a lion, okay? And then I go and I ask it, is Michael Jackson alive? Okay, well, I cannot keep my fingers together because no, the answer is Michael Jackson is not alive. So that's how I tune my instrument. And then I can ask it any question from there. And I could even use my body as a tuner to really measure the radius of a harmonizer. You could also use dowsing rods or a pendulum, but this is all forms of dowsing. And so you can ask the instrument or the tool, the dowsing instrument, a yes or no question, and you will get a yes or no answer by whether however the two, like usually when they come together, it's a yes, or when the bars go apart, it's a no. Or for me, when I use my pendulum, it's clockwise is yes and counterclockwise is no. So he was a master dowser, and so that's how a lot of the observations or the measurements have come through this technology is through dowsing. But not just Slim Sperling, thousands and thousands of people have all done these dowsing experiments and gotten the same answers. So like, and yeah, so there's, and the direct experience, like, trust your experience, people. Believe half of what you see and nothing that you hear, okay? You know, you gotta find your own way, and this is, take everything we say with a grain of salt and create your own story from it. Create your own truth and find what works for you and what is true for you. But here I'm just sharing my heart, I'm just sharing my truth. This is like, I've fully devoted my life to this technology. Like, I see its potential, and I've seen the miracles, and I've seen the magic that happens when these tools enter into people's realities. So yeah, like, essentially this tool, the original, I actually haven't measured this one, but a cosmic wash tub, which is a bit bigger than this one, he measured to have a radius of around 2,000 kilometers resting. And when he played sound through it, specifically a tape that you can find called the environmental clearing tape, it would double the radius of the tool. And just through my own experience, like, I've cleared the skies many times using sucker punches, harmonizers, pyramids, the frequencies such as the environmental clearing tape. Thank you, Chris. It's not a very pretty sound. You definitely want to play it through some headphones, or probably not be in the same room as it while it's playing on your speaker. But it's was recordings of white noises, basically static from storms and storm systems, that one of his peers basically gave him these recordings, and he used it and had these observations. Well, they would plant these devices outside of prisons. They'd watch the crime rate drop, because when you're in a prison, you're surrounded by concrete and steel, and these are all materials that are patented by the Rockefellers that have zero paramagnetic value, aka do not conduct anything living or anything of the earth or anything that is affirming life. And you have these people disconnected from the earth. You bring a tool that is in resonance and harmony and broadcasting a frequency that is bringing resonance and harmony to the earth, people get chilled the fuck out. Pardon my French. They calm right down. There's a lot more peace, there's a lot more unity, there's a lot more harmony and coherence within an environment and a space when a harmonizer is introduced. Facts. Okay?
Hey, just gonna stop you there. Let's go a little bit deeper into
Yeah.
the potential why of that based on our viewpoint in this now at our level of consciousness. Go ahead.
The potential, well,
Like why
Well,
would the harmonizer, why would it have such this profound effect?
because everything is frequency and everything is vibration,
Hmm,
and we are um, constantly receiving. We're constantly receiving our environment, and we're constantly emitting to our environment, and we're being induced, or we are either inducing. We are being seduced, and or the seducing. That's like one of the things I was talking about yesterday with it. Um, but I I mean, why do we need this? Because there's a war going on. You know, I said that already. There's a war going on. We're being inundated constantly with non-life affirming energies that we can actually even see that these are affecting our DNA in a negative way. That these are not informing life in a positive, beneficial, healthy, thriving, prosperous way. It's just not. So we're bringing these tools to bring resonance, to bring harmony to the one entity that is giving life to everything, that is animating all of our reality right here on Earth, Mother Gaia. It is her magnetic field, it is her force that is the glue to our reality. And we're simply creating tools that are in resonance with that, broadcasting that, affirming that,
hmm,
so that all of life can be in harmony and resonance as we're meant to be, you know? And so it's about bringing back this unity, bringing back this harmony. And once there's peace on earth, and we're using clean, free energy that is not destroying the grid, then we'll probably use these as like stargates and portals to travel to higher dimensions. Like the potential is really infinite, but I think that there's a bit too much density right now, uh, in our reality, in our world, for us to be able to easily step into these higher realms, without consistent practice. And like, uh, everything's trying to take you out of alignment, everything's trying to take you out of resonance, everything's trying to distract you, interrupt you, um, rush you.
hmm.
So it's like, slow down, tap in, tune in, listen, and take a moment, uh, take a moment right now to feel into your heart, and to feel in the space between us and the space where I am, and feel into this tool right here.
Hmm.
Feel into this, like, take a breath.
Yeah, I know in this life when I first saw the harmonizer, I was immediately changed forever. Period. Like my life was not the same. It was it was that of profound of effect that I just had to know that, and that was my role here as this entity expressing its Moona's Magica. Like the divine spark that I felt has now been an open door to so many brothers and sisters, mainly brothers coming after, which was only 3 years ago, and has now, like, the grid, the light that is being shared around this earth right now is profound. And like I don't know, nor do I need to know the ripple effect that it's having, but just that recognition of the harmonizer, and then reaching out to beings that at that time, brother, it was harder to find out about, and that was only a few years ago, but I remember there was this like secrecy about the harmonizer. There was this energy around it. And I came with this open heart coming from, Bhagavan, where like just totally in the oneness. And then I came to the tools after, which is a little bit, that's a different way that a lot of people hear about organite or and that's when they're just kind of awakening. But I went years and years of deep devotional uh practice, so to speak, to be in the realized consciousness, you know? And then that's when I went to the school, and then I got gifted the ring, and then led to learning about Slim, and it was actually Slim and obviously Brother Gaia, and there was other beings that were inspiring me. But to say all this is that yeah, when I found out about it, and that it wasn't even that like if popular in the tensor community, you know, like the harmonizers weren't being made that much compared to what they are now. And like I just felt so called, like from spirit, to really just start cooking these up, and like was just boom boom boom. And yeah, I mean, there's just something so sacred about it. And as we're saying, like, you can't see the field, but you don't. I never needed to see it to like. I felt, I knew that I was the self, and therefore, like, anytime there was a doubt about this tech, like, I just felt back into my heart, and I'm like, no, I am that. And there, and then asking like, how can I be of service? Totally, just like keep making this tech, like keep going. And I see that just that one listening to our heart, like how much more power that has than anything. Like when we say that word mighty, like that's an understatement, you know, and it's so mighty because at each moment we're given that infinite mercy to turn our attention away from the illusion of separation, of doubt, of fear, of death, and then rise into eternal life where you feel that presence, and you know what to do next. And that in the discourse, that constructive, like if you have a constructive desire, like go act on it. Like today I had the thought, like uh go get, like just go to the post office and like go give. So I just looked around at what I had in the inventory, and this brother commented on that Goku pyramid I posted, and I just felt like I just want to give. Like I want this brother to open up this box and to just be like, wow, like only love is real, you know? And like who knows what he's going through, and when he receives this, like boom, like instant enlightenment back into love. And like it's just so profound being able to give, and that generosity, and what we learn in the discourse, like it, as Saint Germain says, if you could just give for the sake of giving, you wouldn't even believe the abundance. Because when we do that, we literally rise into that eternal life beyond materialism, beyond a thought. And
You open,
you are literally it. You
you
are
open the door.
you are abundance itself. And when you actually look around and realize that you're the one giving life, that your consciousness is the one giving life to all of this, that quantum observer. And it's like I heard Billy Carson saying in an interview, like your house doesn't even exist. Like when you walk away from your house, like it doesn't even exist. So like you come back. So we're literally in this divine holographic, like call it whatever, simulation. But it's like it's kind of that thing where you get to that point. I don't know if you've had this feeling or this thought process, but like, well, okay, now I know I'm giving everything all the meaning it has. So, and we're making it up. Like we're literally making it up as we go, and we're all agreeing on like, and you were talking about the illusion of like money and stuff like that. Like we're all just agreeing that this paper or this like digital number has this like medium between our resources exchange. Why
Yeah.
in an enlightened society that wouldn't make sense to have this like bridge? It would just be, but we're not there yet. And it's like even when we rise into this level of consciousness, like you're just here now. Like it's so ordinary, it's ridiculous. And if you can really find that when you're in your resting state and you can just be like, wow, like this feels ordinary, but the bliss is just around the corner. If you could just sit in that ordinariness for a moment in the silence, and anytime a thought comes, you just, okay, like you realize the question, and I'll pass it back to you, but the question I have for everybody is, do you exist when a thought appears? And you you can't say no because you would be saying a fallacy as you use that word. Do you exist when a thought disappears? What is it that shines effortlessly by itself when a thought disappears? You exist. You are that. Now there is no spiritual practice to do anymore. Who is the one? Who is the one? Who is the one? Who is the one? And you literally, that question, who am I, dissolves the questioner. The answer is the shining forth of eternity, which is the field, the ever present, luminous, divine creation. And this,
Yeah, there's a name for it.
yeah,
I am.
I am. Yeah. I'm just gonna go pee real quick because I drank all this water almost in like
Let's go.
30 seconds. But if you want
I'll
to,
go. I'll go. No, I'm gonna go get my jacket because it's getting cold here, but I still want to be outside. And then you
all
can
right,
cut this out. This part
intermission.
out. Yeah, intermission.
All right, back to the podcast. Here we are.
Back to the I am intelligence.
Yeah, so just the ordinariness of existence, and just by being as you are, you become the light to the world. All of these religious teachings, it's like you have to quote unquote practice until you get there, but then that's it. And then but creation doesn't stop in a sense. Your recognition and acceptance of your true being, your true nature has just started.
And in that, it's like Christ and Krishna and crystal. It's really about being clear, and that the light of God is unadulterated, it's pure, and we are the hue man, the color spectrum of the manifestation, the hue of the manifestation.
Mm,
And we constantly color and qualify. As soon as we qualify things, we color it.
yes.
We paint it with our idea of what it is. And um, and when we simply are the observer, and we're listening, and we're just observing, and we are beyond the thought, we are observing the observer of the thought, we can really start to see things more clearly. We can start to be that clearness, and knowing that love is God, is love. God is perfect. God is abundant, omnipotent. It's like I see people sharing love like it's a commodity,
Mm,
like it's not an infinite resource and well that is just never ending. Love is a never ending well, and we're not running out of it anytime soon. So people got to stop giving just a bit of love to these people, and I'm going to give more love to these people, but I'm not going to love these people because they're you know they're doing drugs on the street, or and I
right.
think it's like these masks that we wear,
Mm,
and it's like, take off the masks, and like, how much easier would it be to just paint everybody with the same brush, you know to just be that consistent loving presence. It's about being frequent. It's about frequency more than amplitude. When I refer to this, it's about loving like this, and not like this every once in a while. you know it's this, like, it's about this frequency. And I think that we need to learn to share love more freely, really, and just know that we're not running out of it. you know it's like, um obviously find the balance in yourself, but, like, don't think that you're ever going to run out of love.
mm,
It's like, we're not anytime soon.
right. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, just by knowing, just like, I don't know, that's what it's just like knowing that God is perfection. God is perfect. God makes no mistakes. God is loving, compassionate, forgiving, all these things. And it's like just allowing that to be, um and really allowing that. It's just like, don't you want that? Don't we want perfection and peace and, like, joy in everything we do? Like, and if we can just, like, allow in many ways, and get out of our own way, and remove the fear and the doubt that is stopping us from ascending, that is, this fear of death, this fear of less, this fear of lack, this, all of these fears that are, like, binding us.
Mm.
And really, yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you feel like there's like a kind of a fine line, so to speak, between making the unconscious, like that Carl Jung quote, right? Like bringing that into the light, but then also like not putting any attention on it. And this is what I just want to share this real quick before you get in, because this is important. But the consuming flame, right? It's like you. that that is the process. Like I contemplated this today. Like ascension is the harmonizing of polarity or of duality, but it's funny because at the same time, that's not even true. That's just an idea to point you to this eternal now. But like just that conversation of like, all right, well, shadow work, like I got to do more. Well, first of all, who's the one, right? But there is all this quote unquote unconscious material that rises in this quote unquote ascension process. But where is the line between, okay, like totally take your attention, like, because does the ego or the outer mind like ever shut up? Or like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, there's many topics there you're bringing up, but for me, like the first thing that came up, I feel like almost speaking on the illusion of choice
Hmm,
and what is a what's the difference between like a choice and a conscious decision, really?
hmm,
Like, what if there was only actually two choices, love or fear,
yeah,
constructive or destructive?
correct.
And if there's only these two options, it's either you're in alignment or you're out of alignment. And I believe all paths lead to the source. We're all going to the same place. We're all walking each other home. And so really it's like the compass, from whether you're like in the middle of the ocean, which we all are, trying to find your destination, and your heart is your compass. And there might be like different ways of like different currents that take you in different places, but essentially you're like going to the same place. And but if you're like not following your compass, you're not going to end up at your destination, and you might have to like come back here and reincarnate and do the whole mission again so that you can actually get to the destination next time.
Hmm,
Because I think we're here on consignment, we're here on a mission, and like if you don't figure it out
yeah,
this time, you're going to have to figure it out next time.
correct.
So might as well get with it and stop thinking that you only got 40, 50, 60, 80 maybe years to make as much fucking money as you can before you fucking die and you don't exist anymore. Like, what if you lived for an eternity and you're gonna be born again as your child's child, and you're gonna wish that you took better care and left something better for yourself. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like,
That was
um,
that was
I don't know, man. Like, for me, it's just like I found this thing, these tools, and it sparked something in me. It's fucking sparked this excitement. And
hmm,
like I took a note from Bashar, and Bashar says, follow your highest excitement. You know, he has that he has one of those like 3-step ascension formulas. Like basically like, you know, feel it, think it, feel it, and then just do it, basically, right?
yeah,
And trust, and like knowing that as soon as you declare what I am, that infinite energy is set in motion to accomplish perfection, to accomplish whatever you desire. And I
hmm,
felt this spark. And since I found these tools, my life has changed so much. Like I just started following this excitement. I found these tools. A couple months later, I met the love of my life, my beloved, who works with copper, and we get to like create together and share our medicines and the love for earth minerals, and you know, and
wild, bro.
making life beautiful. So it's just like
That alignment.
these tools brought this incredible love into my life. And it's so funny that copper, I believe, was the catalyst, because for those of you that don't know, you might know if you've watched your other episodes, because maybe Lights tapped on this, or you've had other guests talk about the 7 noble metals.
Hmm,
And copper is one of those 7 noble metals, and copper is ruled by the planet Venus. And so all the properties of Venus, any of you are into astrology, Venus is the planet, the ruling celestial body of love, passion, abundance, beauty, all these things. are in copper. So by wearing copper and being with copper, you're resonating, and you're constantly within the radiation of these energies, of this entity. And also law of one, now we tap into Ra is the ascended master social memory complex of Venus. When Venus ascended 1 billion years ago, because Venus was where Earth is now, they became one entity, one being, and that being is Ra, and that is the being who helped the Egyptians and the Incans build their pyramids. Like, if you know, uh, and so to say, so to be said, and yeah, it's so Ra. Like it's crazy. I started working with this tech, and I started seeing Raw everywhere. Raw's like just popping up to me everywhere, and he's like contacting me, and
Mm.
I've very deep, my intuition very strongly tells me that he has something to do with this technology,
Yeah.
and that he was a part of bringing it back to Earth in this time and its remembrance for us right now when we need it most.
Mm.
And so yeah, just like a bit about that, and just like following my excitement and following my heart, and like just having this thing that ignited me, that helped me remember, that was like this thing that I could actually channel my energy into and create and be of service, and all of these things that I feel like is within this. It's like it's a service, and every person that I've ever sold a harmonizer to is an earth steward. These are all, everybody wants to make the world a better place, and you're really not just doing yourself the service, you're supporting all of life within your radius, within like a very large area of where you are and where you choose to be. One I don't know, I could kind of
Yeah,
I had
go.
an experience last week with the harmonizer.
Mm.
Pretty cool experience. um but yeah, I mean, you were kind of talking that's kind of what your question brought up for me, and I would love to go back and listen to what I just said to you, because that was very much a stream of consciousness. None of this has been written or like really prepared in any way. I'm just like, we're just free flowing here, we're just making it up as we go, like we all are, right? And just tapping into that love, that fire, that passion, that excitement. And um I'd been like postponing this for a while, because inspiration ebbs and flows with me for the work and like the tech. And I have brothers like you to thank, and brother Light from Eternal Light Technologies in Costa Rica, um, to thank for like being peers, people that we converse with about the tech and our experiences and the relation that it's having with our lives and our realities, and where it's going and where all these things. It's so inspiring for me, and it's really like so exciting knowing that this really is just the beginning, and that to see the implications and where this is going. And you know very soon we'll have the technology to observe these things on a very, very deep level, I believe, and to
Mm.
see things on the quantum level and on the atomic electromagnetic field in a very, very, very advanced, very visible way. We're going to be able to break down reality. It's like we're literally, all these mathematical codes are literally just like all these equations, all this science, they're just like codes in the matrix, and we're literally cracking the fucking codes right now for reality. And it's so crazy. I'm like, I wake up some days and I'm just like, what? Like, I myself, I'm so, the more I know, the less I know. It's like the more I know, the less I know. I'm like, man, this world is so crazy. This existence is so crazy, man. Like, it is so crazy. And
And
and this
this,
visible spectrum that we are in is just
yeah,
like 1% of it,
right. And the
and that's so
harmony,
much what this war is I was talking about, like in Palestine, or with the 5G and in our air and our water everywhere. It's so much more than the physical, what we're seeing. This is very much an esoteric, a spiritual, a war on consciousness, and a war on the unseen levels of reality that we just can't see it. We're blind to it, and I think we just need to exercise more our other senses so that we can be more sensitive and we can tune in more, and shed our light. It's like the darkness of the world. Everybody's like, the world's ending, the world's ending. Like, the world seems really fucking crazy a lot right now in some people's minds and worlds and realities. Like, I feel that from people, and especially if you're tapped into the mainstream media and you're listening to the news and what they want to
totally.
spoon feed people. It's like, I would think the world's ending too if that was what I was ingesting, and that was my diet, and that was what I was bringing into my mind, body, and world, right?
Facts.
But we've already won, and New Earth is now, and the prophecies have already been fulfilled. We're in the middle of prophecies right now, and it's crazy times, man. I mean, um, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, and the harmony that we can feel just now, like you can feel harmonious, and this is just like we've just shifted into what we're calling like the fourth density or the fourth frequency. But like, yeah, in the law of one, Ross says that the fourth density compared to the third is like 100 times more harmonious, right? Like 100 times, like that's wild. And because if you can already feel harmonic now, then like imagine, but man, you're so right. Like the more like and that's actually a sign of like true integration, right? Like think about Ramana, that he was silent, but when he opened his mouth, like he wasn't thinking about what he was going to say to people that came and asked questions. It just channeled through, but it's so funny that we yeah, like it's all about attention. It's really all about just keeping your attention on the stillness and just knowing that this this presence that we are is this intelligence, the only one power, the only one intelligence, and that's giving life to this temporary illusion of separation, which is simply a false thought. And that's what a lot of these practices are about now, like is yeah, just tapping into the stillness, like really think about like Dr. Joe's work. Like people are surrendering to this field, and that this intelligence is divine love. And that frequency that one can embody, that is what heals anything unlike itself. And yeah, it's just a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing, brother. It's a beautiful thing, I must say.
Um, yeah, if you want to share if there's any burning desires, I usually keep the podcast at like an hour
How
15.
long are we in?
Honestly, bro, I think we're more than an hour.
But we started with way before we recorded. But anyway, we're good, people.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna tell you all about an experience that I had
yeah.
recently. I went out to Slow Hot Springs, in between Pemberton and Harrison, Hot Springs, here in British Columbia, and I went up there with my partner, and it was super last minute spontaneous decision. And I looked at the weather, and it was supposed to be cloudy and rainy the whole time that we were there. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. We're going to like a hot spring, the most beautiful place on earth, in my one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And um, I bring my harmonizer, I bring my pyramid, I bring a sucker punch, which is a scalar energy device with a big crystal in it, and I put them all together. I put the pyramid on top of the harmonizer, I put the sucker punch up, and I got out my phone, and put the environmental clearing tape on, put the speaker up all the way, and I left it in my vehicle. And we got there, and it was pretty overcast. There was a bit of like sun coming through in certain places, but in 10-15 minutes, by the time we walked down from my vehicle after setting up the tools, walk down to the springs, we get down, and there's just like a circle above us. There's no clouds. It's perfectly blue skies. And the whole time we were there, it was amazing weather. It was nice and sunny. There was like clouds and all a bit in the distances, but it was like cleared it, and I felt it. I was like, whoa, like these things are really powerful, but it's obviously has a lot to work against when it's in the city, in
Yeah.
denser areas, when there's 5G cell towers, Wi-Fi routers all around you. So I was like, whoa, being out here, like it's next to the rivers and all the sound and all the paramagnetism, the trees, all the life. Like there's so much paramagnetism, so much frequency around. That's juicing this thing up. And yeah, it was crazy. Just like, weather shamanism, literally changed the weather. And it was out of cell reception out there, and it was cool. I was like, wow, we could just like reminding me of the grid work that needs to happen, and that's happening with these tools, and the effect that they have. It's just like, and I've done this so many times. Like, it's not a coincidence at this point. Like, I've cleared the skies dozens of times with these tools, not just with the tools, but with my own intent. I've done it myself. I've dispersed clouds for over a decade doing Jedi mind tricks, but now I have a tool that can do it while I'm going down to the hot springs with my baby, and I don't got to think about it, and I can just set it and forget it and bless it up. And now I'm clear. Now we're boom charging the ethers, and just like invigorating the space. And like, yeah, it's we are this technology. I don't want to externalize our power by saying we are not the divine natural antenna, the antenna that can receive and emit any frequency that we desire. We are that which this is. The toroidal field of our hearts can probably extend far beyond the Milky Way, and we are capable of like grand things. But yeah, this tool is just simply here to do it for us, and it's doing it all the time. And was talking about, like, brought up reciprocity before, and I remember just the science is through GDV imaging. How they place the copper under the imaging, the gaseous discharge visualization, and they see the light and the current moving through the tools. And they take the tensor ring, specifically the tensor ring or the Hedica, they take and they simply place their loving intent into the copper. They place it back under the imaging, and it's emitting 3 to 5 times the amount of light after. So very much your awareness, your light, your love, your presence is very much powering and energizing and giving to these tools. Just like a plant, if you don't water it, it'll die. It's not a paperweight. If that's what you want it to be, that's what it'll be. It's not what it is. It is what it does. It's like, it's you decide what you're using it for, how you want to program it. We also add crystals into the harmonizers to add additional frequencies. Crystals, just like copper, is tetrahedral in structure, molecular structure. They're nearly identical in structure, and both conduct, and store electricity and information and consciousness, all of the same thing. And yeah, they're amazing, beautiful tools, and amazing gifts for yourself and your community. And I think that every community should have one. And yeah, get it, get yourself a harmonizer. Very good deal today. You message me, I give you a good deal. You say I listen to podcasts with Moonas, and I give you a good deal.
Yeah, I'll add in your information. Just send me what you would like me to put in the YouTube.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, I have
I'm
a
gonna
brother.
I'm gonna read this.
Yeah, let's send it off with some benedictions.
I got an invocation here for y'all. This is Discourse 6. Thou mighty, infinite presence, creator of all that is, always majestic in thy conquering presence, we give power only to thee. We forever withdraw all power we have ever given to outer things and stand serene in thy majestic presence, love, wisdom, and power, knowing that I am here and I am there and I am everywhere. Then I am serene in thy majestic presence, manifesting thy love, wisdom, power, and judgment. That I have thy foresight and see far beyond human possibilities. I give praise and thanks that I, now and forever, acknowledge and accept only thy mighty victorious presence in all things, in my life, my world, my mind, and my body. I give praise that I have placed about each form thy magic circle, invincible, impenetrable to anything unlike thee. I stand guard over my life, body, mind, world, and affairs, that nothing manifest unlike thee. We thank thee.
Hmm. I actually think I read that this morning, bro. Uh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that this morning on at the beach, straight up. Uh, but yeah, I mean, this was juicy. The podcast is funny, because it's like it's just catching a little glimpse of who we are, and but it's great to share, and it's a great tool to share
Yeah,
this consciousness. So,
it is. It's an honor to be witnessed, really,
mm,
and I believe that our presence and our attention are the most valuable things that we can give another person. And I'm just so grateful for all y'all listening right now, and you and everybody for their presence and their attention. You know, it really is like the greatest gift one can receive. So I'm receiving that now. My future self is in a future now, and I'm just really grateful to be witnessed. And it's like the double slit experiment, like Billy Carson. Your house doesn't exist when you're not there. You know, like um, this wouldn't have been possible to come through without being witnessed right now. You know,
exactly.
and so just in that, like, just allowing spirit to manifest. And just, we've been trying to book this, and I've been super in my head and being like, oh, I don't know what to say, but subconsciously I've been preparing. There's things coming up that I was like wanting to talk about and tap in on, and there's always more to talk about. This is a
Really
never ending conversation.
correct.
And so I just really appreciate the space. And yeah, yeah, I just sending a prayer, just of of hope and of faith to everybody here listening, and that we can all remember together who we are as one. And I'm just yeah, I'm hoping there's peace in all your lives and everybody that you know. And just so much love, Munas. Thank you so much.
Yes,
If there's
brother.
anything else, I mean, I'll close out the podcast with a little flute.
Love it.
Thank you. Leaving you all in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. And so may it be, and so it is. Love you, brother.
One love, one love.
One love.